So what is the Enneagram and why should we use it? The Enneagram helps us to understand the why behind our behavior. It helps us to understand our lens with which we view the world. It is a way of understanding how we differ from others, but also what makes us similar to others as well. The beauty that I find in the Enneagram is that it is, in simple terms, only 9 types. Of course, the Enneagram is multi-layered and has many different dimensions to it. But if we think of it in simple terms of the 9 types, we can see the ways that they interact with each other, how they are similar to each other, but also how they differ. And this is the same with humans, how we have our similarities, but also our differences. The Enneagram is a beautiful way of explaining why I do what I do and how that differs to you. We are, in essence, a mix of all the 9 types. We have a little bit of each of the behaviors of the type. But why we do it stems from the core type that we have. And in Enneagram RC, we believe that core type is born with us from birth. The way that I see it from a nature versus nurture perspective is that we are born with our nature, and we can see this with twins and also with babies, with infants, that from a very young age you can see their little personalities developing. Even with twins, you can see that they're very different from each other. And thus, these twins, let's say, from infancy to, let's say, teenagers, will have a different perspective of how they were raised. And this is explained through their lens with which they view the world. And this is the nature part of it. So nurture is very important as well in our development, in our personality. It's our culture, it's our upbringing, it's many other aspects. And thus, a 6 will express very differently than their sibling who is an 8. They will explain their upbringing in very different terms because the lens with which they viewed their upbringing was different. So in the process of finding our type, I invite people to find their core type and to go back to how they were when they were a teenager or a young adult, which is before we had too many cognitive biases, as you can see in the previous video. So when we are trying to find our type, I invite people to let go of the image that everybody else sees the world the way that we do. A pitfall that we fall into as humans is that we assume that everyone else sees the world the way that we do. And thus, when we say to people, treat others the way that you want to be treated, the problem is that most of us are already doing that. And hence, an 8 may treat a 2 the way an 8 wants to be treated, and that's not going to really work out well. The 2 doesn't want to have as direct a conversation possibly, may not want to have a discussion, a heated discussion about something. They may want to have more of a calm discussion, or even to have more compliments and more engagement from the person, more empathy. So the Enneagram teaches us how to see the different perspective of the other and how to treat others the way that they want to be treated. So in this Enneagram RC YouTube, I invite you to subscribe below so that you can be updated with new videos, and I'm going to be showing the different Enneagram types. I'm going to be going through one by one of the Enneagram types, explaining what makes that core type them. What is the lens with which they view the world, and how they differ to others. There are certain things of certain types that you may think, I don't know whether I'm a 1 or a 6, but there are certain things within those types that is almost a make it or break it. And I invite you, if you have those questions, reach out to me and we can have a chat. So in summary, the Enneagram is a great way of learning how to treat others the way that they want to be treated, how to sit in the center, how to understand each other, and how to be a little bit less critical or judgmental to ourselves and to others, and to learn how to live life better together. I hope you join me on this journey. Subscribe below.